What's up? We're back. Did you miss us? You shouldn't, because we were only back on for like 10 minutes. If you, I'm hearing a whole lot of echo of my voice right now, and it's weird. Like I can hear myself through DJ's mic, and it's weird. I don't know. I can't anymore, so that's cool. That was weird for a minute. But anyway, like I said, you shouldn't have missed us. We were only gone for 10 minutes. If you missed us, you need to get therapy because you have commitment issues. You know, I'm sorry if I just outed you on that. I'm sorry. But anyway, we are talking about Tough Enough, and I know what you're saying. Tough Enough hasn't started yet. That doesn't start till Tuesday. Well, if you go on to the WWE Network for only $9.99 a month, by the way, they did have a WWE or a Tough Enough special where basically they took the 40 contestants that were chosen from the however many thousand they said had submitted entries. They took the 40. They had a kind of 2 day mini camp at the performance center, and they kind of narrowed it down to the final 13 competitors. We're gonna kind of talk a little bit about that first episode, sort of special. Um, I liked it. It was very different, particularly because it was in the performance center, whereas the other tough enough uh, seasons were before the performance center was a performance center before they built it. So they were kind of in, for lack of a better description, a warehouse basically before that. So it was really different in that aspect. One thing I didn't like was how they specifically focused on some certain participants. Not to say that they weren't really interesting, but I felt like they should just have kind of done the whole field, not just focus in on specific people, because then it makes you think from the beginning, oh well, this person's obviously going to get through. So what's the point of me watching this if I already know who's going to make it through from like the first 10 minutes of the show? Um, but anyway, after there's a couple things that kind of bothered me. Just kind of stupidity from the contestants. Not to sound mean, but like after 5 seasons of Tough Enough, you would think that these people would come in, knowing things not to do, what not to do on Tough Enough. Don't come in with a gimmick thinking you're already a wrestler. Just come in, be yourself. That's really what I feel like what they want to see. Be you being yourself, seeing natural charisma, see natural talent. Not this character that you're putting on. Because it's WWE. They're gonna give you the character. You're not gonna develop your own character. They're gonna give you whatever character they want. So just come in showing them who you naturally are. The other thing that I feel like they don't understand not to do is don't try to trash talk the judges. That is the fast track to get kicked off the show. It's just gonna piss them off, and you're not gonna advance. Um, but there were two contestants that I really liked, and unfortunately, one of them did not. She originally did make it, but then it was I believe her name was Ashley. She originally made it through, but unfortunately, she was medically disqualified for a cardiac issue, which was sad. I really liked her. She was really unique for a diva. I felt like we needed another kind of anti diva, kind of like Paige was. But I like that they said that she could come back to the performance center when it was all figured out and have another shot. So that was kind of cool for the WWE to do. I also really like ZZ. He was a really interesting character. I really liked him just from the first time I saw him. I was like, that guy's making it through. I kind of ruined it for myself because I did look on the app, the Tough Enough app, before I watched the show, so I kind of knew who the top 13 were. But I still wanted to watch this special because it was cool. I liked it. I'm excited for Tough Enough. How it's gonna be because they said it's gonna be different. It's gonna be kind of set up different from the past seasons. Chris Jericho kind of wanted to have it be different. So I'm excited to see how different it's going to be, how what's going to be the same, what's going to be different. So I'm going to throw it over to DJ because he's been working on trying to get a list of all the 40 contestants or hopefuls that we're trying to get into Tough Enough. So do you have that list there yet?
I wish I did. I have the list, but no pictures. And I apologize to these contestants and all, but I don't know you that well to not know you, to just know you by your name at this point. I mean, a couple of them, yeah, because we saw them a ton on the show. But I'm going to pull this list back up because I know some of them I do know off the top of my head a little bit. And I know by name more so by name than anything. I really like this down. Leo. For some reason, I liked him for a little bit there. That little ladies' man, I guess, gimmick he was trying to do there, it actually seemed like it was pretty legit. He was trying his best I liked him though. I thought he was kind of cool. He ended up, I think, getting eliminated because of he failed mandatory test that you have to take in order to continue to compete. So I was like upset about that. Another thing that I didn't like about some of the eliminations that they didn't really like Gabby a lot because she was like really feisty and stuff like that. But when I can't limited, they went straight to Gabby, and I was like, why did they go straight to Gabby when the final two, the redheaded girl and I think it was Barbara Brienne or something like that. And I was fine with ZZ coming back because it didn't apply to him though because he was great. I was upset that he got eliminated in the first place because I was like, he's doing a lot better than some of these quote fit guys. It looked like from what I can see from what they're showing us it looked like he was moving. If not just as fast, he wasn't moving like terribly slow or like giving up or anything like. So I was like, I don't know why they didn't give him a chance in the final 13. But you never know what the criteria is for. I don't know. What do you think of that? Like fact, it's between Barbara and the redheaded chick who I really liked. I liked that girl. I was really had to leave. I think he was gonna make it to the final 13. It was between her in this scenario, but Barbara was like your prototypical, not even too over the edge, like type of diva, right? Where this redheaded girl, she was anti-diva, I guess you could say. She was just different, she wasn't the same as these other girls, but her passion was wrestling, which was cool. I don't know why they didn't. I was surprised when I don't know if you were surprised about that, about them. First off, surprised that they did keep that girl in the first place, and then secondly, what do you think about the fact that Gabby got to come back rather than the girl that was kind of in that top two type of a thing, like I choose you or I choose you, I don't know who to choose.
I don't know. I wanted Ashley to the redhead to really make it through because she was so unique. I felt like the other girl that was in that top two. I I, I kind of liked her, but I felt like she was a little bit too bland. You know, if you put her in the group with a bunch of the other girls that were there, I I don't feel like she's the kind of person that really kind of stands out. And not just that this other girl had red hair or whatever, but I felt like her personality kind of made her jump out too. Um, as for the other girl, wasn't she the Brazilian one who was kind of a bitch?
Yeah, she was.
I just didn't like her. I you know I don't know why they put her on there. I don't think even being in the final 13, I don't see her making it very far. She's just gonna start issues with the people. There's gonna be fights. And even if she somehow made it to be tough enough winner, she's just gonna bring more issues into a locker room, and that's not going to be good for working. Because I mean there are we've watched Total Divas, and there are cat fights and whatever, but they're still relatively get along. You know what I mean? It's WWE is still a family in that way, and I don't think she would mesh like that. She would just start issues. I don't think she's the type of person who, you know, no matter who you are, when you enter the WWE, you're at the bottom. You have to work your way up. You have to pay your dues. No, even if you are the tough enough winner, you still have to pay your dues. And I don't think she'd be the kind of person who would respect, the other divas, the other superstars, the way
Yeah,
that deserve to be respected.
yeah. And my question is, with that kind of not giving in to not necessarily authority, but kind of like I'm gonna do what I kind of want to do. Doesn't that give her that kind of about her where like she would, she wants more so for the. She seems more selfish than CM Punk seemed, but I feel like after she got the business down a little bit and learned a little bit, maybe she would be kind of one of those guys who, hate to say this, quote, grab the brass ring type of a person, that would kind of get in the face of authority and try to get what she wanted to get.
Yeah, I mean, you can sort of put her in that same realm as CM Punk in the attitude area, but CM Punk literally slept on floors and paid his way through by like working in training places, and he literally worked from the bottom, so he kind of has the right to have that attitude, and to an extent, obviously. I don't agree with everything that supposedly he's done. I don't agree with everything the WWE did either. I'm not saying either one is right, but I don't think she has the passion that he does, like to where if she didn't get picked, I don't think she would sleep on floors to get training. I don't think she would go around in all these independent promotions just to get noticed to work her way up. I don't think she would do that. And that's kind of like that's the kind of person that I would look for if I was one of the judges. One of those people who I think would be willing to, if they had to, work their way up from the bottom. Guys like, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, those guys who have worked their way up. I think you're frozen. God, don't be frozen. Not in this video. Oh wait, I hear you. Okay. Well, I heard you.
What did you think about the what did you think about the thought they were better than the Usos? I can't remember their name. Ended up quitting because they didn't like the criticism that they got. I like the way they came into the ring and like you know to a certain degree I like his own gimmick, I guess you could say, but then again, it's not about. I don't know, very interesting. I just felt like for some reason they didn't take well. You know, I feel like in a competition like Tough Enough, um, you gotta kind of take criticism better than they did. They kind of took criticism and quit. And
Yeah.
I got one more question for you after you get done with that one.
I initially right the first second I saw them, I kind of liked them, but after that it went away just because I mean when the Bellas came in, it was unique. You know, we hadn't had twins before really in the WWE, not that I remember. Um, and then you know the Usos come in, they have natural talent, and they're in that bloodline of Rikishi, The Rock, so that helped them too. These guys, they're just another set of twins that are trying to use that gimmick to get into the business, and I don't know if WWE would really be able to do anything with them. You know, they already have two sets of twins. What could they do different that, you know, the Usos haven't done or the Bellas haven't done? They can't do a male twin magic because that would be stupid. You know, that I just I don't know. But I felt like they didn't have. I felt like they were those kind of guys who are just trying to find an avenue to like fame. They weren't really passionate about professional wrestling, the business or the entertainment or the sport. You know, um, and plus I didn't think you know. Yeah, they're 6'6" and 6'7", but they turned sideways and they disappeared. They were so thin. Like I mean, I felt like they were gonna break. And I just kind of I felt like they when they quit and they talked to Booker T, they were kind of disrespectful to him. You know, saying, "Oh, you know, if you were nicer about the criticism," and I was like, "It's criticism. It's not nice." You know, if it, they're they're not going to sugarcoat everything, you know, just for you because you're a pretty boy. You know, I don't know. I wasn't really that big of a fan of them. You know, just I don't know. They just didn't hit me.
Yeah, I thought, and going back to Ashley, I think the redheaded tattooed girl, back to her. I thought she was killing those workouts personally. I was surprised that she was kind of at the bitter end there. I thought it was more of a, you know, she wasn't the type of a girl, you know. When I was thinking about, like, from what I saw, she was doing really good in the workouts, and she wasn't like struggling. She wasn't like complaining about anything. It looked like she was doing pretty good. The other guy I really liked that had to leave unfortunately was Mike Hayes, the guy with the prosthetic leg. Um, the guy who I think he got it blown off in a Humvee or something like that. Um, I really like that guy and not just because of the story, but because he didn't quit. You know, even you know, with having blood in his line and stuff like that, he had to stop for a day, and then he came back and finished through. And then unfortunately, he did have to drop out of the competition. But you know, that was a dropout that was kind of different. You know, I feel like I think he's wrestled before. I saw some. There were some pictures of the prosthetic leg. I was actually curious to see prosthetic leg off if it became a hindrance to him, and maybe try it without it. But then that would make stuff that much harder. On do you have any thoughts on that guy? I really was a bit.
I liked him. The only thing I was worried about was kind of, you know, the same thing I was worried about with Chris Melendez, and that you know if you guys remember Zach Gowen, um, he was in WWE. He was an amputee, and they kind of WWE at least kind of used him as just a joke, and they didn't take him seriously. He's actually still in professional wrestling, doing really well in other indie promotions. So it shows that somebody who is an amputee can still be an awesome professional wrestler. And that was what I was kind of worried about with Chris Melendez, if TNA was going to do the same thing. Luckily, they really haven't. But I would be worried with what WWE would do with him if he made it. Would they use him well? Would they use him as a legitimate wrestler, or would they just kind of use him as a gimmick, kind of like they did with Zach Gowen? But I mean, I hope he finds a way to make it, because I mean, I liked him. I thought and everyone else seemed to like him. So he was one of those kind of likable guys. He inspired everybody. So I liked him. But yeah. So.
All right, that was it for me. I don't know if you wanted to do this, but I kind of want to make a prediction here on the women's side, who I think's going to win on the men. I kind of had my ideas, and kind of maybe a dark.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, so I don't know. After Ashley got kicked off, or I feel like I don't have anybody to really cheer for on the women's side anymore. Just because I only really connected with her for some reason. I only really connected with her. So, I do. There's another girl that I actually really like on here too. Let's see. I'm gonna have to go with Daria. I'm pretty sure this is the girl that was a lesbian. She just looked like she was really, into it. She was really pushing hard to do it. I don't really have a dark horse on the women's side, personally. I don't know. Maybe Georgia. I guess her name's Georgia. I don't know. Georgia. I don't know. Whatever your name is from Australia. I'll go with you because I do remember. I remember a little bit of her. She'll be my dark horse, my just in case. And I would actually, if with much heart and stuff like that, I wouldn't be surprised if WWE after she got well with everything she had to go through and all of that, I wouldn't be surprised seeing her on NXT or something, just because she really fought kind of hard for it. I don't think it would be any a spit in the face of any of the contestants or anything. Kind of out. I don't know. I kind of would be interested to see her in NXT at some point, maybe. It would be cool. So who would be your woman prediction for a winner?
My
Email.
My original prediction was Ashley. I really liked her. She really stuck out to me just right from the beginning. So I'm gonna have to say Daria. I liked her. I think she was the lesbian, and that right there surprised me that WWE because we haven't really had that I know of an openly gay or lesbian superstar diva. Which
Darren Young. Sorry.
What's that?
Darren Young. Darren Young. Darren Young.
Openly.
Darren Young.
Openly.
He is open. he came out somewhere. He did. Pretty sure.
I don't know. I'll have to check on that. I don't know about your sources, sir. But that's a really big kind of step for WWE. I don't feel like they would have ever done that before, So I'm gonna say Daria. My dark horse is still gonna be Ashley, if she comes back and is somehow in NXT at some point. She's gonna be my dark horse. Yeah, those are my women. The men were a little bit harder for me to pick, I have to admit. But I'll let you do your male picks first.
All right. Yeah, this one's tough because ZZ is a dude that I would really love to see win this. And ZZ's like one of those guys that, as a male, I could look up to ZZ because I'm like, he's a bigger guy. He's not, incredibly fit. I think he said something about round is a shape. I thought that was pretty funny when he said that when he first came on or whatever. I just like the guy. I think, we've seen these bigger guys, Bojo, Kevin Owens, and now maybe ZZ. I'm gonna put him as my dark horse though, because I don't see WWE really loving him that much. As far as his physical condition is concerned. The guy I'm gonna kind of cheer for to win would be ZZ. Don't get me wrong. I'm gonna be cheering for him in the back of my mind and everything. But I'm gonna go with this guy Joshua. I think his nickname was the Yeti. Dude was huge. The man was pretty big. He kind of reminded me of a Yeti with like dark hair. He had the long hair. I liked him for some reason. I did. I was a big fan of Joshua. I kind of, I like more. I was drawn more to the men in this competition. Some of the characters that they kind of portrayed than some of the women, because a lot of the women that I liked got eliminated, and I was sad. So yeah, I would go with Joshua. I could see Patrick maybe doing something. He was kind of passionate about stuff too. So maybe Patrick too a little bit. But I'm gonna go with Joshua, and we'll see. We'll see. ZZ will be my dark horse. We'll see.
This one was so tough for me. I felt like I think his name was Mata had a kind of a unique look to him, with the hair. He had a little bit of a mohawk. He was I don't know if he had, besides that, there wasn't really much to him, I didn't think. I thought that the two guys, Tanner and Alexander, had kind of an it factor to them. They had that look. Even if you look on the app, that their pictures kind of, there's something to them. I could see them, as professional wrestlers. They just have that look to them. And then ZZ is just awesome. I don't know who doesn't love ZZ. So I'm kind of stuck between Tanner and Alexander as my picks. So either of them I'm gonna pick. I feel like one of them is gonna make it. One or both is gonna make it far. My dark horse is gonna be ZZ. Just because I love him. I'm gonna be rooting for him no matter what. So I would love to see what they would do with him if he won. What creative would do with him. But yeah, those are gonna be my picks.
Yeah, my only thing about him become a joke, he has that character where he could become like just a joke, and that would be my only issue, because WWE is really big on these guys with big characters just becoming a joke. I mean, I feel like it's a lot different what we're seeing with, for example, Grado. I was actually watching his documentary. That's why I thought of him. For example, Grado in TNA, where he's a fun-loving guy, but he's not a joke. You could see him winning the title. Whereas, in WWE, you would only see him as, the big guy that's kind of a joke. So I would just hope they would make a joke out of him.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other thoughts on so far? This is just kind of the introduction to the new season of Tough Enough. Obviously, we'll have a lot more insight into it when it actually starts. It's next Tuesday, so we'll get more of an idea of how the new kind of format, I guess, they're gonna have. So that's gonna be cool, and then we'll kind of have a little better idea of how we're gonna do the show, the review. But yeah, I'm excited about it. Obviously we were sad about a couple women getting eliminated, a couple guys getting eliminated that we would have loved to have seen go on. But I think, they have a good, at least with the guys, they have a good set of guys on there. The women, it's kind of, the women's side seems a little bit weak right now, just because some of the girls on there seem kind of a little bit bland, right? To me, at least right now. So hopefully they kind of get more of we learn more about them as they go on. But I'm excited. Um, I'm excited to see how the eliminations are going to go. Are they going to have chairs like the original Tough Enough had, to where, if they get eliminated, they put their chair up? I hope they don't do the stupid title belts like the last Tough Enough did. I thought that was really stupid. I didn't like it. I don't know if you liked it. I just never really liked it. Uh, so I'm kind of excited to see what they do with that. I mean, if they do anything like that at all, they might just say, "Get out of here. You're eliminated. Leave." Um, but I think they'll do something like that. So, but I'm just excited for it. It's something that we've been waiting to come back. You know, we were excited with the last season of it in 2011, which didn't really turn out to be anything. I don't even think the winner is still in WWE anymore. I don't even remember who the winner was. I remember the runner-up because he was a douchebag, but I don't really remember the winner from that season. But I don't know. But yeah, that's our video for today for the special, I guess. I don't even know. It wasn't really a tough enough episode, but it was just a special on the network. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It was pretty cool. But yeah, that's all we have for you right now. So go to bed or stay up all night. I don't really care. Do what you got to do. But yeah, it's what time is it? I don't even know. It's 12:51, so it's past your bedtime. Go. Get out of here. We're done. We're leaving. Go. Go. Seriously, leave. Now. Go. Get out of here. Leave.